Kia ora, I'm Ty. Today for you I have something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a flow to perfect our Dharma dog. Probably not going to be perfecting it, but we're going to be working towards perfection, as is the goal of life, hey? So often I've had people come up to me lately saying that my flows are a bit too advanced for them and they want to focus a bit more on specific elements of a sun salutation. Downward dog and chaturanga for me are probably the ones that need most focus on. So we're going to start today with downward dog. In the future we'll go and do a little chart, but yeah, specifically dog. The things that we need to keep an eye on in downward dog are the wrists and the hammies and the calves. Those are the parts of the body that people tend to struggle with, especially if you've got tight hammies. It's quite difficult to extend the heels into the earth, and if you have dodgy wrists, it's always quite difficult to apply pressure to the wrists. So we're going to start by warming up the wrists, warming up the hammies, and then hopefully we can progress into a gorgeous dog. So how will we start? We're going to start, I'll strip for you. We're going to start on our mat in Virasana. So you're going to sit back onto your heels. Palms come to your thighs. Elongate the spine, tailbone reaching down to the earth, and the crown of the head reaching towards the sky. Just take a couple of deep breaths here before we begin the flow today. Begin to center yourself in the present moment. You're going to lift your right hand forward and up, palm pressing towards me. And then your left hand is going to press into the fingers of your right, and you're going to push the heel of your hand away from you as you pull the fingers towards you. So you should feel a nice little stretch in the forearm. And it starts to dig into the wrist, and then we're going to swap, so your left hand presses, and then with your right hand you pull the fingers of the left hand towards you as you extend the heel of the left hand away from you. Going to repeat that once more on either side. So right hand presses away, heel of the right hand, and the fingers pull towards. And then the heel of the left hand presses away as you pull the fingers towards with your right hand. We're just going to create some circles with the wrists, fist up those hands, go one way and the other way. Just to get some movement in the joints. Okay. From here we're going to come find cat-cow. So in balancing tabletop, you want your shoulders to be stacked directly over your wrists and your hips stacked directly over your knees. The reason for this is if you're too far forward, you're putting a lot of pressure on those wrists, and that's what we want to avoid. All right, notice when you're in this pose, we're going to do a bit of a check yourself. Make sure you're pressing firmly down through all of your fingers, including your thumb. Don't forget about that thumb. Make sure you're pressing firmly. Alrighty, from here on an inhale, you're going to drop the belly and extend the tailbone and the crown of the head towards the sky. And on an exhale, you're going to round the spine so the spine reaches towards the sky, the tailbone drops to the earth, and the crown of the head drops. Shoulders round. Inhale, drop the belly, draw the tailbone and the crown of the head to the sky. And exhale, tailbone to the earth, spine to the sky, and the crown of the head drops. Repeat this a couple more times in your own time. Make sure you're actively pressing through the fingers. You're going to start to feel it in the wrists if not. Alrighty. Now I want you to sit back onto your heels. You're going to invert your hands so that your fingers are facing your knees, and you're going to press the heels of your hands to the earth, and you're going to slowly round your back so that you're stretching those forearms. If it's too much for you, come back a little bit higher so you're not quite sitting on your heels, but if it's available to you, sit down on those heels and stretch those forearms. And drop the head and the neck. Nice. And slowly peel your hands off the earth. From here, we're going to find a child's pose. So extend your hands out long in front of you, as far as they can go, and then you're going to drop the chest to the earth. Relax the head and the neck, stretching the shoulders slightly here before we come into downward dog. From here, you're going to lift the booty off your heels and come back to find a tabletop position. You're going to tuck those toes under. And then you're going to send the booty back once more and extend the hands out long. You're going to come into a puppy pose. So you should really now feel a stretch in the side body. Toes are pressing into the earth. Booty is pushing backwards, and then your chest is drawing to the earth and your head and your neck are relaxed. Really stretching the arms, stretching the sides of the body here. Breathe into it. Alrighty. From here, you're going to bring those hands in a tiny bit, and then you're going to slowly lift the knees off the earth. Hold it here with control. And then you're going to slowly push your chest down and back, keeping those knees bent. So you're almost in a little downward dog here, but we really want to keep those knees bent. Awesome. Relax the head and the neck. Make sure you're pressing firmly through all of your fingers, avoiding compression of the wrists. You should start to feel it in the quads if your knees are quite bent. That's fine. And you're going to look towards your hand. You're going to take many little steps to meet. And as you exhale, option to keep those knees bent as you fold at the hips for an Uttanasana. So here in Uttanasana, we just want to focus on keeping that spine long. And then slowly, if you can, start to straighten the legs a tiny little bit. Just stretching those hammies, preparing yourself for that downward dog. Option to sway from side to side. See if you can straighten those legs a little bit more. Keep stretching those hammies. Nice, and generously bend your knees and slowly round yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae until you find Tadasana. So here in Tadasana, feet are pressing firmly into the earth, tailbone is rooting down. Crown of the head is reaching towards the sky. Palms are facing forward. If you have blocks, I am aware that this is a beginner's flow, so totally fine if you don't have blocks. We can definitely modify for you. But if you do, now I want you to grab them. We're going to place one block on the smallest setting in between your thighs. This is going to feel weird, but just roll with it. All right, you got a block between your thighs and you're going to squeeze. Squeeze that block, yeah. Keep squeezing. Nice. If you got a second block, you're going to place this block in between your forearms. And you're going to hold it out in front of you, palms pressing away from you. So the feeling I want you to create is you are actively pulling your arms together. So you're squeezing that block. You want to hold that block in between your forearms. So you're really, really squeezing those arms together. Same with the thighs. You want to hold that block in place. So you're really activating those glutes, activating the hammies of the thighs to keep that block in place. So your hands are in front. If you don't have blocks, you're going to pretend you have them. So you're going to be actively drawing that energy towards one another thigh. To create length in the body, make sure your tailbone is rooting down. Same with the hands. Pretend you have a block in between your hands. So your arms are going to be shoulder distance apart. And you're just going to be pretending that it's there to squeeze that block together. Okay? So everything is working right now. From here, I want you to lift your hands a little higher, keeping that block pulled in between your hands. And a little higher. Keep those arms straight. And a little higher. And a little higher over your head. Make sure the heels of the hands are pressing away from you. Should be really nice and long up here. And slowly back down. Hold it here, keep squeezing. Drop it a little lower and keep squeezing. A little lower. And lower. Still squeezing. All right, relax. Take a moment. Going to do that one more time. So block in between the thighs, block in between the forearms, or an imaginary block. Press away from you. Make sure you're actively pulling those thighs together to keep that block in place, actively drawing those forearms together to keep that block in place, and then lift your hands a little higher. And a little higher. And a little higher till it's over your head. Make sure you're really squeezing up here. And a little lower. And lower. And lower. And release. Nice. Shake it off. So, the reason I got you to do that was because when you're in downward dog, you can just chill out for a moment while I chat. The feeling of holding that block in between your forearms, I want that to be present as you're in downward dog. Really helps for pulling the chest towards the earth. So where I want you to be now, we're going to come back to tabletop. Come onto your knees. Hands and knees. Okay, so your spine is long, you're pressing firmly into the earth. Maybe put your hands one handprint where they currently are. You're going to tuck those toes under and we're going to go to downward dog from here. So, on an inhale, lift the knees, and on an exhale, send that booty up and back. Create a generous bend in those knees. We're going to start quite low. So the aim I want you to focus on is to draw your chest towards the earth, keeping that spine long. The aim is not at this point to straighten your legs. So you really want long arms here. Make sure you're pressing firmly through all of your fingers. Now that feeling you created when you're holding the block between your arms, I want that active here. So you pretend that block is still between your forearms and you're drawing those arms together. Nice. Now slowly, if you can, extend one heel to the earth, keep the other knee bent, and alternate. So you straighten your right leg now, bend the left knee, straighten the left knee, bend the right knee, come back to downward dog and hold for a second, and then drop those knees to the earth, sit back on your heels for a child's pose. Good job. Downward dog is not an easy one, but once you get there, then you will be there forever, unless you get some kind of injury, and then we gotta start again, but we'll get to that when we get to that. All right. Child's pose. Come back up to tabletop. Tuck those toes. Now we're gonna go back into downward dog. Lift the knees off the earth. Send that booty up and back. Notice this time if you can draw your chest a little deeper. Keep those knees bent, but notice if you can extend those heels to the earth a little more. What we want to avoid when doing this though is rounding in the back. We don't want that spine to be rounded. We want it to be long. We want that booty up to the sky. Shine your booty. Alrighty. From here you're going to lift your right leg off the earth. Flex the toes and point them straight down for a three-legged dog. And on an exhale, you're going to draw that knee to the chest. And you're going to plant that foot on the earth. Preferably, you're going to plant it between your palms, but if you can't get there, that's totally chill. You can grab it and put it there yourself. Okay. From here, drop that back knee, untuck those back toes. With your left hand, press firmly into the earth as you extend your right arm to the sky for a low lunge twist. Now in this pose, I want you to firmly press down through the right foot and draw those inner thighs together to create some stability. Maybe lift that booty a little bit higher. Nice. Look to the sky. Plant the right palm to the earth, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee off the earth, and you're going to step that left foot forward to meet the right. And then you're going to bend those knees and hinge and fold for Uttanasana. Here in Uttanasana, spine is to be long. And maybe if you can, slowly start to straighten those legs just to prepare yourself for a deeper downward dog, but it's totally fine if you cannot straighten them. From here, you're going to press firmly into the earth with your hands and come up halfway for Ardha Uttanasana. Here your legs are to be straight. Nice. As you exhale, fold once again, bending those knees for Uttanasana. On your next inhale, generously bend those knees and you're going to slowly roll yourself up once more, vertebrae by vertebrae, till you find Tadasana. Palms facing forward, tailbone rooting down, crown of the head reaching up. On your next inhale, round your arms out and all the way up to the sky for Urdhva Hastasana. And on your next exhale, you're going to hinge at your hips and fold yourself over all the way down again for Uttanasana. From here, you're going to step that left foot back and you're going to come to find a high lunge. So before we get there, with your hands pressed firmly into the earth, make sure your front knee is stacked directly over your front ankle. From here, you're going to press firmly into that right foot, keeping that left foot active, and your arms are going to come forward and up for that high lunge. Make sure your hips are square so your left and right hips are in line. Right glute is really working in this pose. Nice. Plant your palms to frame your front foot. Step that right foot back. And we're going to come to find downward facing dog. So here, maybe pedal it out once more. See if you can pull your chest a little deeper into the earth. And maybe see if you can extend your heels slightly more into the earth also. Cool. Look towards your hands. And we're going to round ourselves over for a plank pose. So your shoulders are stacked directly over your wrists. Then you're going to drop your knees to the earth and lower yourself down in one piece for chaturanga. On an inhale, shoulders round down and back as you open up your chest for a baby cobra. In baby cobra, we are opening from the upper back. Awesome. And exhale, lower down. On your next inhale, you're going to push through your hands and come back up to find tabletop. And then you're going to tuck those toes and send that booty up and back once more for downward dog. Nice. We're going to repeat that on the other side now. So lift that left leg high, toes are flexed, pointing straight down, and on an exhale, draw that knee to the chest and plant that foot between the palms or pull it there if you have to. From here, you're going to drop that right knee, untuck the right toes, press firmly down through your right hand as you extend your left hand to the sky for a low lunge twist. Maybe lift your booty a little higher than you think you need to. Awesome. Plant that left foot back to frame the right. Tuck the back toes under, lift that back knee, and you're going to step that right foot forward to meet the left. And then you're going to bend your knees and fold over for Uttanasana once more. On your next inhale, come up halfway for Ardha Uttanasana. And on your next exhale, fold back down for Uttanasana. Generously bend those knees and slowly round yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae till you find Tadasana. Inhale, arms round out and all the way up for Urdhva Hastasana. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips, fold yourself forward and down for Uttanasana once more. This time, press firmly through your left foot as you step your right foot back. Check yourself. Make sure your left knee is stacked directly over your left ankle. And then press firmly down through both feet as your arms come forward and up for a high lunge. Check your hips are square. Activate that left glute. Engage the inner thighs. Make sure they're drawing towards each other to create balance and lift in the torso. Nice, then plant your palms to frame that front foot. Step your left foot back, then send your booty up and back for downward dog. Chest is drawing towards the earth. Shoulders are opening. Yes, they are. Knees are slightly bent. Make sure your booty is reaching up and back before you attempt to extend your heels slightly more to the earth. Make sure your fingers are pressing firmly to the earth to avoid compression of the wrists. And from here, roll yourself over to find a plank pose, shoulders stacked directly over your wrists. Drop the knees, untuck the toesies, and lower yourself down with control. So you inhale, open the shoulders, open the chest. Cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, press yourself up to find tabletop. Tuck the toes under. Inhale, and on your next exhale, lift your booty up and back for downward dog. Pedal it out once more. Take a moment to check yourself. See if you can extend your chest a little bit lower. See if you can lengthen your legs a little bit lower, but without sacrificing that length in the spine. Okay. From here, we're going to lift the right leg once more. Flex the toes, make sure they're pointing straight down, and on an exhale, step that right foot between your palms. Lower the left knee to the earth, untuck the left toes. Press firmly down through your left hand. Woo. Extend your right hand to the sky. Nice. Lower that right hand back down. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. Step that left foot to meet the right. And exhale, fold once more for Uttanasana. Keep those knees bent slightly. Straighten that spine. As you inhale, come up halfway for Ardha Uttanasana. And as you exhale, fold down once more. This time as you inhale, generously bend those knees and then slowly round yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae till you find Tadasana. Bam. Inhale, arms round out and all the way up for Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hinge at your hips and fold forward and down for Uttanasana once more. Nice. This time step your left foot back. Instead of coming to a high lunge, we're going to come to Warrior One. So attempt to, how shall I explain this? Your big toe of your left foot should be facing the front left side edge of your mat. Okay? So that when you round your hands forward and up, that back heel should be attempting to press into the earth. If it doesn't, that's fine. Totally chill. But it must attempt. All right, check that front knee. Make sure that knee is stacked directly over that ankle. Hips are square, gorgeous. From here, you're going to straighten that front knee. Once again, check your hips, make sure they are square. And then as you exhale, extend your torso over that front leg. Palms come to the earth. Or if you have blocks, your hands can come to the blocks to bring the earth to yourself. Awesome. We're going to bend that front knee once more. Palms frame that front foot. Come onto the ball of the back foot. And then step your right foot back for downward dog once more. From here, you're going to round yourself over to find plank pose. Lower the knees to the earth. Untuck the toes. Then slowly lower yourself with control all the way. As you inhale, open the chest, round the shoulders, down and back for a baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, press yourself up for tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, downward facing dog. Nice. Once again, check your dog. See if you can lower the chest to the earth a bit more. See if you can extend those heels to the ground. But make sure that spine is long and the booty is reaching up and back. There will be no rounding in the spine. Alrighty, lift that left leg, toes are flexed, pointing straight down. And on an exhale, knee to the chest, foot between the palms, lower the back knee to the earth and untuck the toes. Press firmly through your right hand as you extend your left hand up to the sky. Low lunge twist. Nice. Bring that left palm back to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Step that right foot to meet the left. And bend the knees to fold for Uttanasana. Maybe see if you can slightly straighten those legs a little bit more. But only as much as you feel is comfortable. Please don't overexert yourself. Please. All right, inhale, halfway lift, out of Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, once more, Uttanasana. Inhale, create a generous bend in your knees and slowly round yourself up to Tadasana. Inhale, arms around out and all the way up for Urdhva Hastasana. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips, fold yourself forward and down. Once more for Uttanasana. This time, step your right foot back. Make sure the big toe of your right foot is facing the front right side edge of your mat. Extend your hands forward and up and come to find Warrior One. Here, check your hips firstly, make sure they are in line. Check that front knee, make sure it's stacked directly over that front ankle. Awesome. Breathe, torso is long. Then you're going to straighten that front knee. Once again, check the hips. Torso comes long and then hinge over that front leg on an exhale. Hands can come to the earth or a block. I should have said this before, but if you can't make it, hands can come to your thigh. Nice. This one's really good for stretching the calves and the hammies. Bend that front knee, frame your front foot with your hands, and then step that left foot back to meet your right. Find downward dog. Then we're going to very quickly round ourselves over for a plank pose. Lower the knees, untuck the toes, lower your torso to the earth. And then as you inhale, shoulders round down and back, and the chest opens and lifts for baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, press firmly to come back to tabletop. Tuck those toes. And one last time, send that booty up and back for downward dog. Extend those arms long, press firmly to the earth with your fingers. Tailbone is reaching up and back. Relax the head and the neck. Attempt to draw the heels slightly more to the earth if you can. Chest is also drawing to the earth. You are breathing. Nice. From here, we're going to round yourself forward once more for plank. Then drop the knees to the earth. Untuck the toes. Send the booty to the heels. Child's pose. Relax the arms, relax the head and the neck. Breathe. Slowly walk your hands to meet your knees. We're going to sit onto one side so we can fling our legs in front. Extend those legs long. Torso comes long. Nice. And your arms are going to come forward and up. Reaching. And you're going to hinge at your hips and you're going to fold forward. Hands can come to your thighs. Hands can come to your shins. Or if it's available to you, you can grab your feet. Once you are wherever is comfortable, you can drop the head and the neck and relax. All right, slowly bring your torso back up. Now you're going to draw your feet together. So the soles of the feet are pressing into one another and the knees are reaching out to the sides. Torso comes long once again. And on an exhale, hinge at your hips and fold forward. Only go as far as you can without straining the lower back. And then relax the head and the neck. Slowly bring that torso back up, and then you're going to recline yourself to the earth, keeping those soles of the feet pressed into one another. Just going to relax here for a moment. Feel the hips opening. And you're going to draw those knees to the sky, planting the feet onto the earth. Take a moment to find a neutral spine. And then once you do, we're going to draw the knees to the chest. Feet are going to extend to the sky. If you've never done this pose before, it's called Happy Baby and it's a funny one to do, but it's very common, so don't feel weird about it. Arms are going to come to the insides of your legs, but your hands are going to reach to the outsides of your feet. And you're going to actively draw your tailbone to the earth, draw your shoulders into the earth, and you're going to pull your knees into the earth also, but by using your hands. This one really opens up the hips. Breathe into it. Gorgeous. Then slowly release your feet to the ground. Arms come by your sides. And one at a time, extend your feet long. Take any final movements before we come into Shavasana. In Shavasana today, we're just going to start by focusing on the breath. So as you inhale, I want you to imagine you are breathing fresh life into your body. And as you exhale, imagine you are expelling any negativity, any stale energy from your cells. So as you inhale, you're inhaling for the fresh, and as you exhale, you're exhaling the stale. And slowly Draw your knees back up to the sky, feet planting onto the earth, and then roll over onto your preferred side. Option to use your palms as a pillow for the head. And take one deep inhale and one long exhale. And when you're ready, slowly push yourself up to find easy seat. Option to keep your eyes closed or your gaze soft. Hands come to your thighs. Tailbone reaches towards the earth as the crown of the head continues to reach towards the sky. Bring your palms to prayer at the center of the chest, and I invite you to share one round of breath with me. So wherever you are, exhale everything out here. And inhale fully. Exhale completely. Bring your thumbs to the third eye to acknowledge and pay respect to the higher wisdom that resides within. Bring your thumbs to your lips as a reminder to always speak kindness to yourself and others. And bring your thumbs back to your heart space as a reminder to always come back to your limitless capacity to love. Bow the wise mind to the loving heart and thank yourself for honoring your body, your mind, and your soul by coming to practice on your mat today. The light within me shines the light within you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for taking the time to come on mat and practice with me. I hope you delved deeper into your dogs. I know it's not an easy pose, and the more you open the shoulders and the more you lengthen the hamstrings and the calves, the deeper you will be able to fold into downward dog. So just keep practicing those poses, keep pressing through the hands, not the wrists. That will be of benefit. And slowly, once you lengthen in those specific areas, you will perfect your dog. Stay tuned, stay groovy. Namaste.